My good buddy Greg Rand and I have been talking so far about what the market, what the housing investment space is going to look like over the next 1 year, 10 years. And Greg, let's talk about some of these industry players making moves. What moves should we be paying attention to, and who's making them?
Great question. Yeah, it's really getting very exciting out there in the real estate business. The industry has been very straightforward and homogeneous for the last 30 years. The way you bought and sold homes was pretty much locked in. You found a broker, they listed it, put it in the MLS, somebody else sold it, and you paid a commission. And the way buyers found the property turned into 20 years ago, they would use the web to find the property and the realtor, and it was all pretty straightforward. Now, there are some big changes coming. You've heard about Open Door and OfferPad, and there are a few others that are following up now. Zillow jumped in the game of something called iBuyer, right? iBuyer says, basically, the way I put it is trade in your house, right? The way you trade in your car. You know, you could sell your car, your used car, and it's worth $18,000 if you sell it on the used car market. But you really love the idea of driving it into the dealership and saying, take it. How much will you give me? I'll give you $14,500. I'll take it. $14,500. Perfect, right? And you leave a couple of grand on the table in order to have the convenience of just getting it done. Open Door, OfferPad, these companies are saying, trade in your house. In other words, we'll buy it. Like, you want to sell your house, give us your address. Okay, we're interested. Give us all the details. Here's your price. We'll close in 30 days, all cash. That is happening now all over the country. That changes everything because what that means basically is you don't need, as a seller, if you're willing to eat a couple of percentage points of value, you can avoid even showing your property to anybody. You can avoid the open house. You can avoid the neighbors all seeing a yard sign going up. You can avoid dealing with realtors. Realtors are wonderful people, but you don't need them in your life if you don't need them in your life. And so a lot of people are opting to sell direct. So now Open Door is shaking the foundations of the real estate business with that model, because people are starting to realize that, oh my, if I could actually see half of all the homes in the country being sold that way right now. That's a lot of market share, and it feels a little bit like what happened when Uber decided that cabs were doing it the wrong way, right? A dramatically improved experience all of a sudden maybe eats the whole universe, right?
That's right.
So now, so Compass goes out. This has been going on for a couple of years. I'm sorry, I said Compass. Open Door goes out, who originated this model, and they went out and bought a real estate company. So now what's that all about, right? So now I don't know what they're planning on that, but it reminds me of Zillow, who is a real estate marketplace online, an advertising portal for houses for sale that would never, ever, ever buy or sell properties. Their lifeblood was real estate companies paying them for advertising space to be near where all the eyeballs were. Well, Zillow goes out and starts buying houses themselves. They have something called Zillow Instant Offers, where you can go in and you can sell Zillow your house, or one of the big institutions that are standing behind Zillow with their capital. So now Zillow went from being a marketplace online to actually buying your property. They also went and bought a mortgage company, right? So there is crossover. Now Coldwell Banker, which is the ultimate traditional real estate company with an office on Main Street, USA, in every town, USA. Coldwell Banker announces that they're going to start also buying houses. You want to sell your house, you can go and Coldwell Banker will buy it. And they're doing it in partnership with another institution called Home Partners of America, who now is in partnership with a brokerage company. So there is so much. What the way I'm seeing it is that it's ordered chaos. Okay, there are people who are looking around seeing. When you look at the housing market closely, you see more asset value, more lifetime value customers, people who are making the biggest financial decision of their life, buying a property. If they're investors, they're doing that multiple times. The second biggest investment of their life is the mortgage they use to buy the property. So the number one ticket item, the number two ticket item that they ever bought are both tied up in the one transaction. And at the same time, the general public is actually kind of frustrated with the process of buying and selling homes. And now these new disruptive forces are coming in. It's waking up the incumbents. It's causing people to kind of dart across the field outside of their lanes and doing all kinds of different things. And I think we're going to keep seeing more and more of it.
I'm going to start following these trends on the institutional level as well, because that's definitely going to, for me, dictate if I'm just a homeowner that wants to sell, a quicker exit strategy. Love what you sell about real estate agents. I love them, but if I don't want to deal with them, I don't have to deal with them, right? Becomes super easy.
I'll give you another one. So Roofstock, you know Roofstock, right?
Yeah,
You've
of course.
interviewed Gary Beasley on the show.
Absolutely, great guy.
So yeah, great guy and real pioneer in the business. And what Roofstock is an online marketplace where you can buy a rental home.
Mm-hmm.
So a person who wants to be a landlord or already is, wants to add to their holdings, they're kind of a competitor to us, but we're doing different things. Roofstock bought a property management company. Okay, so what does that mean? That means you could buy a house on Roofstock and then you could hire a property manager, and now Roofstock has now bought a major property manager. So in the future, you'll buy a house on Roofstock and then you'll just leave it there. Okay, and they'll manage it. So you'll literally wire the money. Now you own the home, but maybe you never even saw it. Maybe you're never going to see it. You're never going to speak to the tenants. You're just going to collect the checks. And as the property values in that market rise, your boat's going to rise with the rest of the water, the rest of the boats in the harbor. You're going to collect a check. You're going to see it get more valuable. And that was an example of a company that realized that they had a really valuable puzzle piece, right? Top of the funnel, an online marketplace, advertising on the web, and getting people to make investment decisions. Now they go all the way to the bottom of the funnel, the place where the actual rent gets collected and the toilet gets fixed. And now they have both ends of that. Okay, so that's an amazing advancement in what I was saying earlier about how the services that are now rapidly being deployed to surprise and delight these investors and make their lives easier, the end result of that is more people doing it because of the sheer number of people that actually believe in investing in houses and actually have the money saved to be able to do it, but are afraid to because it's intimidating and there's nobody to help them do it.
That's right.
That change, I think all this action you're seeing by big institutional players and big corporate players zigzagging across the field to capture more different opportunities in this space has to do with one simple thing. They've looked at it and they've seen how huge it is and how underserved it is.
So we've got to go to break in about a minute and a half. I do want to ask you about Atlanta, the mega market, how to play it in 2019, because when we come back, we are answering listener questions. So Atlanta, the mega market, what's the deal? It's overheated. Am I missing an opportunity? I drive through it. There's too much traffic here. It's crazy. I kind of want to U-turn and go back to where I came from. What's the play for Atlanta in 2019? 45 seconds.
Accumulate. Yeah, don't get scared off in Atlanta. If you were going to ask me Atlanta or Tampa, the data says that, I'm going to say Atlanta or Dallas. The data in Dallas says they've had a 6 or 7 year run of really, really steep appreciation. Atlanta has not had that yet. It feels like it has because it had so much to gain. Atlanta took a big dive during the housing crisis. It got hurt worse than almost any other city east of the Mississippi. So it had more to come back. So it feels like it's had a couple of years of a hot run, and so maybe that's going to end. I think we're going to be really surprised and delighted in Atlanta by what's going to happen over the next 3 or 4 years, which is the appreciation curve in Atlanta is actually going to hold. It's not going to level off there yet. It's got some more time to gain. And so I think Atlanta, sell your Dallas, sell your Nashville, buy Atlanta. That's what I would say.
Sell your Dallas, sell your Nashville, buy Atlanta. And Greenville, Chattanooga, Birmingham, Montgomery. I mean,
well, now you're talking my language. Yeah, that's where it's going. That's where we see so much potential.
That's right.
Is in the secondary cities, the places that are like Atlanta, but they're not as crowded. But you said something funny, and it goes back to that old Yogi Berra thing. Don't go to Atlanta, it's too crowded. Well, if something's too crowded, you buy real estate there.